And more reaction now on the Russian investigation and who is expected to testify, as Garrett just said. Turns out that Congressman Adam Schiff, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, well, apparently the committee and Schiff is expected to interview Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe this coming week. McCabe, as you may know, is believed to have been mentioned in one of those anti-Trump texts from the former FBI official or from the FBI official Peter Strzok. Schiff releasing the following statement this afternoon, saying, quote, "Our committee will be interviewing relevant witnesses regarding the Steele dossier, but efforts to discredit Mr. Steele, the FBI, and the Justice Department bring us no closer to understanding the Russian intervention in our election. Of course, this is not their object. Instead, they are intended in the service of the president to cast doubt on whatever evidence the special counsel may find." So what will McCabe's testimony reveal? Let's bring in James Hohmann. He's national political correspondent for The Washington Post and the author of the Daily 202. James, good to see you.
Good to see you, Eric.
You can expect McCabe's going to defend himself. He's going to defend the Mueller investigation. He'll defend Peter Strzok, who wrote those emails trashing Trump and others. What else do you think we can expect for him when we believe he will testify on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think we'll hear a wholehearted defense of the Bureau. Obviously, they will and have now acknowledged some mistakes were made. And I think all the FBI guys and all the DOJ guys that have testified before Congress over the last 10 days have defended Mueller. We saw that with Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, when he was testifying, I think, this past Wednesday. So he'll defend the Bureau and its work. But he'll face a lot of scrutiny from the Republicans on the committee.
And let's talk about scrutiny. I mean, what could he say about these emails? You know, when Peter Strzok is out there calling President Trump an idiot, when they talk about in those emails with Lisa Page, who he apparently is having an affair with, saying, you know, Hillary Clinton's got to win, and this sort of thing. I mean, how can they defend them as being professional investigators who are not biased by their personal feelings when they carry out their professional duties?
What we heard from Rosenstein was that all FBI agents have biases, but that it didn't taint their work. That was the message that we heard last week. A lot of pushback on that. I think we'll hear that message again. And then the Mueller pushback there is that as soon as Bob Mueller found out that these guys were exchanging these text messages, he got rid of Stork, and Lisa Page had already separately left from the work a couple months ago, and that, you know, the day that he found out, he did something about it. I don't know if that will fly with some of these Republicans.
Do you think that'll satisfy the critics? I mean, people at home, a lot of people at home sitting saying that, you know, they think it's unfair.
I think it's one of the it's a data point that will be used to cast doubt, and I think as Adam Schiff was saying, that's part of the strategy here. There is a strategy to cast doubt on what Mueller's doing. There is some fear about where he's going, what direction this is going, and this is certainly, I think, in some ways, an effort by Trump and his allies to lay the predicate if they feel like they have no choice but to take action against Mueller down the road.
Yeah, and we don't know if that is indeed the case. Let me read you one of the emails that raises a lot of questions. That's from Peter Strzok, saying, quote, this is to Lisa, "I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he, Trump, gets elected. But I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. So let me read that again. I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office. So first of all, we have to ask, what's the path?
Right.
That there's no way Trump gets elected. I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy. So first of all, what's the path and what's it's like the insurance policy? What are they apparently cooking up? Are they cooking up anything? And is that Andy, indeed, Andrew McCabe?
This is why I'm equally excited to hear McCabe's testimony, to get his answers to these questions. I don't know what was being referred to or what they were talking about cooking up. There was obviously a feeling within the FBI that Trump wasn't going to win last year, just as a lot of people felt that he wasn't going to win. You know, I think the FBI isn't a hotbed of liberalism necessarily. I mean, there's not this. When you think of the FBI, you don't think of a bunch of card-carrying Democrats. This is a bureau that traditionally has been viewed as pretty conservative, and so, you know, I think these two agents, or the agent and the lawyer, don't necessarily tarnish the whole bureau, and I think that's what you'll hear from McCabe when he testifies before
That is certainly
Congress.
the truth. These two agents do not tarnish the Bureau and the allegations about them. But, I mean, what possible plan could there be, do you think? I mean, is it possible for those two agents, you know, to put the fix in? to throw it a little bit. I mean, you got Strzok apparently, watering down language with Hillary Clinton from saying that her handling of the emails was, grossly mishandled to being negligent. I got to get the exact.
It went from grossly negligent.
That's what I was trying to say. And
to the term that wasn't a legal term.
Yeah, and that's important because if they came out with that legal term, Hillary could have been charged. But to a lot of people, it seems behind closed doors, they were just watering it down.
Well, and that is a valid course of inquiry, of course, and that these are the questions that are going to continue to be pressed. It is, I mean, it's sort of hard for any one person to put the fix in. The system does have some, checks and balances in place. There aren't just FBI agents willy-nilly deciding to prosecute or not prosecute. Jim Comey obviously made the decision about what to recommend to the Justice Department, and then made the decision about what to say publicly.
Comey sided with Peter Strzok, it seems, by reducing that language to get Hillary off the hook.
Yeah, and I can't speak to why they chose to reduce the language. It's not necessarily that it was to get Hillary off the hook. I'm not defending what they did or not defending it. There's no question that decisions were made, but I don't think the decision was necessarily made just to get Hillary off the hook.
So basically, they're looking at it from a legal point of view, you feel, specifically and professionally. And actually, that's what the FBI director said.
Well, then I can't speak to their motives, of course. But I think what the FBI is saying is that they weren't doing this for political reasons. They were doing it for legal reasons. They didn't feel that the evidence was there. They felt that she had behaved badly and inappropriately, but they didn't think the evidence was there to bring charges. I don't know if that was the correct decision. That's not my job to decide, but I think that's the argument that we're going to hear from Andy McCabe when he testifies before Congress in this coming week.
And finally, do you think that'll put to rest any of the critics?
I don't. I think the critics are going to always continue to cast doubt. There's always going to be a cloud over the way that email investigation was handled. Remember, it's not just Republicans who are angry at the FBI. Democrats still feel, and Hillary Clinton herself feels, that Jim Comey weighing in the final weeks of the election cost her the presidency. So both sides still mad at the FBI.
Yeah, James Hohmann, thank you. We'll see what Mr. McCabe says when he takes that oath and raises his right hand. Thank you.
My pleasure.